Our next question is a popular topic. It was sent in by Joe in Toronto, Canada to CornyDriveThru@gmail.com. If you remember, Jim, the last time we discussed Lars Sullivan, he had been, I think, suspended, and then he got injured. I think that's the order of things, because they found a bunch of old tweets of his that were homophobic and various other phobics out there from a while ago. Well, this question was sent in. Dear Jim, longtime listener, last week it was discovered that WWE superstar Lars Sullivan may have participated in gay porn years before becoming a sports entertainer. With the internet not able to keep a secret anymore, what would have happened if something like this had happened in the territory days? Bill Watts has always had a reputation of saying, if you were knocked out in a bar fight, you would be fired. Would Watts have had a similar edict for this scenario?
Oh, I wonder, it might have depended whether he was pitching or catching. No, I have still yet to see this Lars Sullivan wrestle, by the way, because the only time anybody's been talking about him is when he's been out. Either, this guy was out injured, but we found these old horrible white supremacist things, or, I hesitate to call anybody anything anymore after, without checking into it for myself. And I haven't been that interested to check into it for myself, with knowing how people hyperbolicize things on the internet. But it seems to me that he was pretty directly, and it shouldn't be homophobic, because phobic is like you're afraid of something. It should be like homo-hatic, because you're hating gay people instead of being scared of that, like they're going to come and find you and string you up. You just hate them because of what they do. But regardless, it does seem that he protested a bit too much about how bad he disliked the gay people. I just think he ought to quit doing things on camera and out in public until he just doesn't give a fuck, regardless. Because he seems to be getting in trouble. And he's had a lot of different viewpoints for such a young man, hasn't he? And he looks different. And one day he shaved his head, or he looks like the fucking college football player, or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
He may be confused.
He may be confused.
Our next question, it only goes uphill from here. Our next question was sent in to CornyDriveThru@gmail.com from
wait a minute now. I will say one more thing. What about if that had happened back in the territory day? Well, Chris Cole did the gay porn, did he not?
I believe so.
For us, that's where he took his last name, after Colt magazine. But you kind of expected that with Chris Colt. But all the guys were different back in those days. I don't think that the promoters would have liked any type of porn with a recognizable top wrestler in their territory, because that was not thought of in good fashion back in those days. So I don't think any porn would have been good. But Johnny Valentine used to just be very friendly in the shower, from what I've heard, but that doesn't mean he did it on tape.
What?
Well, every once in a while, Johnny Valentine, who had probably one of the most cruel senses of humor in the world, would take it a long way in the shower to fuck with fucking newcomers.
Oh, the JBL treatment.
Well, even worse.
Oh.
Sometimes he might go all the way through with it.
Oh, shit. Wow.
He was a very good ribber. Yeah.
There's
anyway.
There's another word for that that's not rib.
Yeah.
But, hey, when you were in Crockett Promotions in the 80s and
I don't think he held anybody down. I just think he found people that wouldn't resist.
Wow. I thought we were only going to go uphill from here, but somehow it's degenerated even further than the alley menage a trois at the beginning. Crockett Promotions in the 80s, Linda Dallas and Misty Blue come in there. Did anyone already know about them being in porn?
I'm trying to think now. What was the timeline? I don't know. Well, they
definitely did it before they were in there.
Wait a minute. They were in porn like people doing community access were in television. I've seen it, and if there was another one, I may have seen parts of that one too. But I've done better fucking productions on my home video camcorder without editing, so it's not like they were in porn, and just tearing it up for Vivid Video. But That may have it came out after the first time they'd come around through the territory, but probably before the last time. But their porn was about as good as their matches. Nobody was surprised.
Seems like a really bad group of grifters. You know, like, hey, let's all break into porn together. Hey, this isn't working. Let's go to Kowalski school.
Well, I think they saved up money because Misty Blue's husband was the business manager, as I recall. And I think they saved up enough money to get Ron Jeremy to do a scene because they thought that would sell the video. But it did. Backstreet Alley Cats, for those of you interested, around at 1987-ish.
Well, there's another one with Linda Dallas, though. I think she did more than Misty Blue. Well,
I think she may have done some more, but this is where they were all together. I think Misty, Linda, Cat LaRue may have been in that. But I can tell you that Misty's husband, who was also on camera in certain parts of this extravaganza, could have benefited greatly from the advances in modern medicine. And I'm not even trying to do one of those. We don't do those ads on the program, but I'll tell you what, I would have had edit control over his performance if I was him and had any money in that. I would have taken myself right out of that.